So now let's talk about converting between the US system and the metric system. Sometimes with these, you'll maybe have a few steps within one of the systems, and then jumping to the other. So where I have these listed of converting between, so like inches to centimeters or yards to meters, so you can see how these relate the metric and US systems to each other. There might be other conversions to do, and with that, you can go to these sheets or our previous lecture notes and find those conversions within those. Again, for metric, you can see the conversions there for how they relate to each other. However, we're really just going to focus on using this for conversions, this kind of diagram. All right, so let's say we have something that is 5 inches and we want to convert to centimeters. So what I'm going to do is, what can be helpful is recognizing that this deals with length, because that's how our conversion sheets will be separated. So I'm going to look at length, and then what I could see is there is a relationship between 1 inch and 2.54 centimeters. Now, something to keep in mind is that all of these are approximations. These aren't exact, so what we're getting out here are definitely kind of estimations of what they would be equal to. All right, so with this, we're going to go back to our unit fractions for the conversions. So I'm starting with 5 inches. And then what we just saw is that we can just go from inches directly to centimeters based on that conversion. So I want to get rid of inches, so I'm going to put that in the denominator, and I want to end up with centimeters. And we see that 2.54 centimeters is equivalent to 1 inch, or I should say roughly equivalent. So with this, we'll do 5 times 2.54, which is a 12.7. And then for units, inches cancel out, so we'll just be left with centimeters. And we're done. All right, 18 feet is what we're starting with, is equal to how many centimeters? So we're starting with 18 feet, and we want to convert to centimeters. Now again, this is dealing with length. And with that, I can see, in fact, I don't even see feet listed here. I do have that conversion we just used in that previous example. So what we can do is get to centimeters, but first we're going to need to take feet and convert it to inches first. So first we're going to convert to inches. So to do that, we're going to get rid of feet, and we want inches. And then our conversion that we've used previously is that 12 inches is equivalent to 1 foot. And then with that, feet will cancel out. We'll have inches left over. And now we can do the conversion we just did in that previous example where we convert to centimeters. So with that times a unit fraction, I want inches to cancel out, numerator to denominator, and we want to be left with centimeters. And we saw 2.54 centimeters is about equal to 1 inch. And now inches will cancel out and we'll be left with centimeters. So let's see, we'll have 18 times 12 times 2.54. So that'll be a 548.64. And our units are centimeters. All right. Let's see here, 23 meters, 2 yards. This is also length, and actually our next one is length as well, but this would all work the same with our other forms of measurement as well, just using those fractions up above there. All right, we're starting with 23 meters, and we want to change to yards. And what we can see is we have a conversion that relates those 2 units to each other, the fact that 1 yard is about equal to 0.914 meters. So this should just be one step here. So we're going to have 23 meters, and we can take meters and convert to yards. And with this, I want meters to cancel out. I want to end up with yards. And we have that 1 yard is equivalent to 0.914 meters. And with that, in a calculator, we would take 23 divided by 0.914, which is 25.16. And then units, the meters cancel out, so we'll just have yards. All right, is 21 kilometers equivalent to 13 miles? So what we're going to do is take the 21 kilometers and convert it to miles. So we're going to have 21 kilometers, and we want to take kilometers, convert it to miles. So to do that, what I'm going to do is multiply, and I want kilometers to cancel out, and I want to be left with miles, and up above it tells us 1.61 kilometers is about equal to 1 mile. So with this, kilometers will cancel, and we'll have miles left over. Now mathematically, I want to take 21 divided by 1.61. And that's a 13.04. I'm going to go ahead to 4 decimal places here just to get some extra accuracy. So 13.0435. 14.0345 miles. Did I change? Sorry, 13. That would have been way off then. So what we can see is that this is a little bit off. There's some error here. It's not exactly 13 miles. If we round it to a whole number, then that lines up. But with absolutely no rounding, also keeping in mind that this is an estimate here, we do have some error. So the question asks here, what's the percent error? So this is a little bit of a throwback to our previous section. If you remembered, for percent error, we would take observed minus expected over expected. So we expected 13 miles to come out of this, but what we observed is that it's actually 13.0345. Sorry, I mixed that up. This, the 13.0345, and even if I'll show you how to use the calculator to make this even more exact. This is what we should have had. This has error to it, so this was kind of a guess. So maybe this was our observed, where this is the exact value, this is what's expected. So what we would want to do is take 13 minus 13.0345, but I'll show you how to use a calculator to get that even more exact, over 13.0345. Basically, this is our accurate number, and we want to see how that kind of guessed value matches up. So with the calculator, I'm going to do I'm going to separate my fraction up. I'm going to do 13 minus, and then what we could do is you can copy and paste, or you can use this answer button. So this ANS is going to grab the number exactly from up above. And then I want the same thing in the denominator, so ANS for answer. And we can see this negative 0.0033. So let's go ahead and write that down. Negative 0.0033. To get a percentage out, we're going to move that to the right 2 spots. So this is a 0.33% error. Not very much. So while they aren't exactly equivalent to each other, the error isn't too extreme in terms of estimating 13 miles versus this 13.03 miles.